So I got into wholesale real estate because, and again, I want to keep this super short and simple, but was a firefighter back in the day. And unfortunately, I'm going to be pretty transparent here and vulnerable. I got a young lady knocked up. So this lady I was dating, we were dating for about a month and a half. She actually became pregnant. And what I did is, long story short, the relationship ended very quickly. She said I couldn't be in our newborn's life. And I said, absolutely not. I am going to be the father and present in this young girl. And so I took her to family court, even when she was pregnant, because she was making these threats. I knew I needed an attorney. That attorney obviously is going to cost me a lot of money. Didn't have the kind of funds I had available at the time. And so what I did is I decided to say, hey, how can I afford this attorney? That's how we should always all start, right? So my deeper why, I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad back in the Navy, back in my Navy days when I was on deployment. Never took any action back then, but I ended up picking it back up and I said, hey, let me read this book again. I do remember this was another way to make some money. So I said, how do I get into real estate without any money? I Googled how to do that. What came up? Wholesale real estate. I put $5,000 credit card to join Wholesale Inc. back in the day. And 2 months later, got my first deal for $20,000.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hey everyone, welcome to the Investor Fuel podcast. I'm your host, Michelle Kesil. Today I'm joined by someone I've been looking forward to chatting with, Aaron Gaunt, who's been making serious moves in the wholesale space. So excited to have you here today, Aaron. I think our listeners are really going to take something away from how you're approaching your wholesale business. So let's dive in.
Thank you so much for having me on.
Absolutely. So just first off, for those who are not familiar with you and your world, can you give a short version of what your main focus is?
Yeah, we specialize in wholesale / novation real estate here in the Southern California market, specifically the Inland Empire and Los Angeles, which some would say is the most competitive market.
Awesome. I love that. And yeah, how did you get into this business?
So I got into wholesale real estate because, and again, I want to keep this super short and simple, but I was a firefighter back in the day. And unfortunately, I'm going to be pretty transparent here and vulnerable. I got a young lady knocked up. So this lady I was dating, we were dating for about a month and a half. She actually became pregnant. And what I did is, long story short, the relationship ended very quickly. She said I couldn't be in our newborn's life. And I said, absolutely not. I am going to be the father and present in this young girl. And so I took her to family court, even when she was pregnant, because she was making these threats. I knew I needed an attorney. That attorney obviously is going to cost me a lot of money. Didn't have the kind of funds I had available at the time. And so what I did is I decided to say, hey, how can I afford this attorney? That's how we should always all start, right? So my deeper why, I read the book Rich Dad, Poor Dad back in the Navy, back in my Navy days when I was on deployment. Never took any action back then, but I ended up picking it back up and I said, hey, let me read this book again. I do remember this was another way to make some money. So I said, how do I get into real estate without any money? I Googled how to do that. What came up? Wholesale real estate. I met I put $5,000 credit card to join Wholesale Inc. back in the day. And 2 months later, got my first deal for $20,000.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And I paid most of it to my attorney, and then I used the rest for marketing, and then I kept it going. And then moving forward, fast forward 6 years later, I do have full custody and full physical custody of my daughter. I've been a full-time dad since day one, and she lives with me. And now I have 2 other kids with my beautiful wife.
Oh, that's such a powerful story. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing how you got into this world in such a unexpected way and everything ended up working out for you. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it was. I was a forced entrepreneur, I guess you would say. I feel like I feel like I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur because I never liked people telling me what to do. Even though I was in the military and I was in fire, where people do tell you what to do all the time. But I'm not a person of rules, and so it was definitely a good fit for me at the time. And now I've been super, focused. I quit the fire department about a year and a half into it. That's a whole nother story as well, on how I got my first deal, how I was able to scale.
Yeah.
Even throughout the fire department days where I was cold calling, I was driving for dollars. We'd literally leave the firehouse and I would pin properties and direct mail them, and from houses that were just caught on fire. I would talk to homeowners while I was at the department. I got talked to by my fire chief to say, hey, you can't be working on your business here. But when I was able to do it, I had one of my mentors at the time, and he told me to say, hey, it's time for you to go do this on your own. It was very scary because if you know that, getting a firefighter position at a fire department job, there's a lot of qualifications, a lot of work. And so it took me it was a lot of work to get into the position that I was at. But it was pretty cool to say, you know what, I'm going to go do this on my own because I needed to be a full-time dad. I had nobody else to really take care of me and take care of my daughter. But I had a $50,000 in the pipe. Once it hit my bank account, I went into the fire chief office and I gave him my 2 weeks notice, and I was off on my own and did this full time. And like I said, now I'm able to tuck in my daughter every single night. I'm able to wake up with her, take her to school, and I take her on all kinds of cool trips. And same with all my other kids too. So
Amazing. So beautiful. Yeah, you mentioned you have stories about how you scaled and got your first deal. So I'd love for you to expand on that. Like, how did you get from just starting out, getting kind of thrown into this world to where you are now?
oh my gosh, it is frustrating to get your first deal and then to try to keep the deals coming. So how I did that is I remember at the time I was pulling cheap lists from, I think it was like PropStream or ListSource, and those are still great lists that you could go ahead and do. But with the guy with little budget at the time, I was taught how to drive for dollars. And what I did is I started driving for dollars and like super aggressively. I drove around all the neighborhoods looking for the ugliest houses. And that created the list that I needed to really keep the deals flowing. And those were those low hanging fruit. So at the time when cold outreach was a little bit more bigger, such as cold calling, SMS, we were able to keep the deals coming until we were able to afford inbound marketing, which was the PPC, really scale our direct mail, and then a little bit of radio and so forth.
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency. It's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
Amazing. So, where are you at today with your business? Like, what does that version of your business look like now?
Yeah. So scaling forward, right now we have three. So I'm the CEO of Sellers New Day here in the Riverside County area in Southern California. I have three acquisition reps. Usually we like to always have four, but we have three right now. I have one disposition person who's been with me for a few years. I have a fantastic transaction coordinator that's with me in office. And then my current wife is also my partner. She is a freaking killer on that side. So I really help get the deals on the board, and then she helps the other side and gets them to the close.
Amazing. Such a beautiful partnership and business. What's been the key to keeping this business running smoothly
Leadership.
in
For the
terms?
last 3 years, I was obsessed with leadership. So there's a difference between the military firefighter type of leadership um, and an office environment leadership. I'm going to tell you that right now. I mean, there is some differences. Let's just say it was quite a bit of learning curve. I have a high standard. So did we back in the department. But when you come into an office space, we're dealing with a lot of people that might be a little bit more, I guess you would say, softer, and you got to come up with a little bit more different approaches. And so I think we really nailed that down ever since, where basically we have our one-on-ones, encouragement, praises, get the people up and going, and really extract the genius from the people that come into an office space. So a few books that I read and I keep them on my shelf right over here. The book Multipliers, Management Simplified, How to Be a Great Boss, Brian Tracy's The Psychology of Selling, A Hire and Keep the Best People, and the Sales Accelerator Formula are some of the books I reread constantly to help me be that best leader to really drive results and revenue through all my team members.
Amazing. Yeah, it's so powerful what that leadership role can trickle down into the rest of the employees. So I love that aspect of this. So let me ask you this. What are you most focused on solving or scaling next?
I would say deal flow. So we do about 100 deals a year, and I would like to get that up to 200, 300 deals a year just by not necessarily bringing on more people, but by elevating the genius in the current team members. I know that we can stay lean and mean and do a lot of things. So our wholesale business does about 4 million a year. I really want to scale this business up to 10 million a year by going deeper into our market and not wider.
Yeah. What does that look like? What are some action steps that get you in that new route to go deeper?
Yeah, making sure our four acquisition reps are fully trained and onboarded and super driven and pretty much scaling the marketing.
Yeah. Yeah. Marketing is such an important piece of business. Absolutely.
Sure is.
So every business owner has moments where things get real. Maybe a deal goes sideways or you have to pivot fast. Would you mind sharing one of those moments for you and how you overcame it?
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Are you talking about kind of just like a downfall or a hardship? Oh man, yeah, we have them every day. I'm in this
Right.
business. So let me give you one example that we're actually not. I mean, we're pretty much past it, but it's kind of an interesting story. We did a deal back in February where so we had this lady. She lived in a condo. I think it was somewhere in LA, and she reached out to us through a PPC ad. So and it was Joe. It was this lady. Let's call her Jane. Joe at 123 Main Street. They said needed a lot of work, and so we were immediately at that appointment. We went to that appointment. She said, I'm getting divorced. Property needs a lot of work, and I'm going to be moving out of here. long story short, so we get them under contract, we sell the deal, we close on the deal. I guess we find out later that this lady was under I guess she fell under fraud. I guess some famous actor, like, again, and now this wasn't the real actor, it was like AI generated fraud. And I guess this person told this con artist told this lady, the seller, to give him like 80 grand. You need to sell this property and you need to give me 80 grand, da 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 da. Well, anyways, long story short, we sell the property. As far as I understand, she gives this guy, this con artist, like $80,000. So she ended up, I guess, like staying at the property, squatted at the property. The buyer that we assigned it to now has to go through this eviction process. And I guess her daughter gets involved and tells us, hey, you conned my mother out of her house, da da da. And that was not the case. And that's the beautiful thing about documentation, calls recording, etc. And that's what I think that everybody, who's ever listened to this, if it's not recorded or it's not documented, it doesn't exist. So just remember that. Because long story short, she sued us for fraud and again, we weren't the ones who scammed her. And she had, I guess they went to like the news and all these media outlets and was trying to throw our name under the bus. And so lately I've been getting a lot of news, what would you call it? Journalists, I guess, reaching out to us through our website saying, hey, can I hear your side of the story? Why did you take this old lady's house? And so forth. Right. So it wasn't a fun time, but my attorney gets to respond to all these news people. And long story short, they never air us. They kind of tell a story that this lady fell under this type of fraud. But our name was never thrown in there because the story was straight, that we had nothing to do with that. We have all the documentation that it was a clean sale. She wanted out. She said she was getting divorced from her husband, and whatever she did with the money after has nothing to do with us. She wanted us to reverse the sale. But that's just not how that works, unfortunately. But we wish her the best, and we hope it does suck that it happened, but there's really nothing we can do at that time. So anyway, we begin a lot of people trying to put us all over the news and stuff, but didn't go through.
Wow, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. It was annoying too.
I'm sure that's not something that you're wanting to spend your time and energy on.
Yeah, I got to pay my attorney to go have all these conversations.
Yeah, wow. That's definitely a challenging obstacle to overcome, but I'm glad you guys were able to not get spread out on those news outlets.
Have you ever went through anything like that?
Me? No.
You never had a deal that just went super sideways?
Well, I'm not an investor, so that's the starting point.
No? Never, not an investor. What, do you want to be an investor? Or are you just like interviewing investors?
I'm open to becoming an investor. Yeah.
There you go. What market are you in?
I live in California, in NorCal.
Do you really? Where at?
I'm like in the South Bay.
South Bay?
Like San Jose, like neighboring.
Yeah,
area.
I grew up in Antioch.
Okay, cool.
You know where that's at?
No.
You said so you live in San Jose. I actually am from Antioch. Do you know where Concord's at, like Walnut Creek?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, so go a little bit more east, and look on the map. You're like, oh, that's Antioch, Pittsburgh, Concord. Yeah, okay. So I grew up in the Bay Area myself.
Okay, cool. I love that. Amazing.
Have you ever been part of the hyphy movement?
My high school self knows.
I graduated in 2007, so I was at the peak of it.
Okay, yeah, I graduated high school in 2014.
Okay, so yeah, you kind of heard some of it.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. Amazing. So, yeah, when it comes to like your current business, are there any goals that you have for where it's going in the future?
Yep. And I kind of mentioned it, we want to get this to a gross revenue aspect of 10 million. The cool thing in our market, where there are so many deals, we are in probably the biggest market there is in all of the United States. The population here in Southern California is just ginormous. So we're working very hard to go deeper. Again, not wider. A lot of people think that, we do 10 deals a month and that's it. And they think that now we got to go try all these other markets. Absolutely not. We actually want to get to 40, 50 deals a month just in our own market. And our assignment fees here are about $42,000. So it's definitely doable.
Yeah, absolutely. Amazing. Yeah. And are you guys like selling to investors that are in other markets or keeping everything more local?
Yep. We love our Southern California buyers here. I did a whole year when I went nationwide And what we did is we'd buy a bunch of these small, middle of nowhere kind of houses. And, we did in the seven figures at the time. Fortunately, I mean, you're talking about a lot of skinny deals, hard to move. But if you could go ahead and you could build the relationship with your buyers in your own market, you get a property under contract, you could get 10 offers on that property, and you could really bid those properties high. So, and also with the price points of our houses here in California, I mean, we do probably a six-figure deal to two six-figure deals a month here.
Yeah, that makes sense. California is its own little niche.
For sure. I love California.
Yeah, definitely. Awesome. So, when it comes to growing your network and building new relationships, what do you feel has like made the biggest difference for you?
Building my network and just really go giving. So what we want to do is we will help out a lot of investors in our area. So me and my wife are realtors, but what she does is she'll go ahead and list a lot of our networks properties. So if you have a property here in California, reach out to my wife. She is a novation friendly realtor, and she'll go ahead and list your novation deals.
I love that. Awesome. So, yeah, before we close out here, if people want to reach out to you, connect, collaborate, learn more, where is the best place they can find you?
Perfect. Yeah, you can the best place is follow me on Instagram at Aaron L. Gaunt on Instagram. And then one thing, like I said, that I'm excited about is the community that we are launching, which is the Wholesale Gauntlet. And you can find a podcast that I have as well, but the Wholesale Gauntlet community is where we help wholesalers get from dry months to one deal a month to consistent deal flow.
Sounds like a powerful community for people to join. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time, your story, and perspective. It was great having you here.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Michelle.
Yes. And for those of you tuning in, if you got value from this, make sure that you've subscribed. We have more conversations coming with operators just like Aaron who are building real businesses. And we'll see you all on our next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.